Hey everyone, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at this Hellcat Style Hood with the vent scoop-in carbon fiber fitting 2008 to 2023 Challengers. Now this is going to be perfect for the Challenger owner who's after more style and some weight savings. Not only will it get you some additional street cred and aggressive good looks, but less weight over the front end is also never a bad thing. All right, let's be honest here, the Challenger is not the lightest vehicle out there on the road. So if you're chasing quarter-mile times or lap times, every pound you can shave off is helpful in getting a better lap time. Since this is made from carbon fiber, this is going to be 32% lighter than your factory hood. And given the size of this thing, that is a pretty significant savings. I was able to get this up on table really without much issue. It's quite light. Now this is also going to help with engine cooling as well. You get these two heat extractor vents, one on each side, plus the large intake scoop right there in the center. So this is going to help allow for more airflow than your standard hood, which is also a good thing if you're working your car hard on the track or if you're planning to add some extra power down the line. Being able to keep the engine cooler and running at its peak efficiency is always a good thing. But the biggest reason you're going to want this is likely the look. Right out of the box, this comes finished in this nice high gloss gel coat over top of that carbon fiber material. So there's additional protection for the material, but it also gives that carbon fiber a little bit more dimension. And it's gonna be shiny, as you can see here under the lights, just like your car's paint. So much like a clear coat that you put over top of paint, this is gonna have kind of the same effect. Now this whole thing is carbon fiber as well, so it is the real deal, and it comes ready to mount on your factory hood hinges and latch. Although if you are gonna be hitting high speeds with your Challenger, so if you're doing a lot of track time, you're gonna need to install a set of hood pins in order to keep this from blowing open. As the name implies, and as we've kind of already discussed, this thing is entirely made from carbon fiber. The carbon fiber is renowned for its low weight and high strength. This one is made using a proprietary manufacturing method to ensure that it's durable and impact resistant, which is exactly what you want on a body panel, especially something at the front of the car. This is designed using 3D modeling to fit just like a factory hood also, so you should have no issues with fitment. Now that carbon fiber again is covered with that high gloss gel coating that is heat cured for additional protection and good looks, and there's even a UV barrier baked into that coating too, so that's going to help prevent cracking, peeling, or discoloring, meaning that it should look good for a long time. As you might expect of something of this nature, it doesn't really come cheap. This one in particular will run you about $2,500, making it a decidedly premium option in the segment. However, the weight savings and the build quality here are pretty darn good, so if you want something that looks cool, fits like factory, and is going to save you some weight, this is definitely worth your consideration. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you about 1 hour to complete. Now this is a totally bolt-on install, again like we mentioned earlier, but we're building in a little bit of extra time there for you to be able to adjust things and get the panel gaps exactly the way you want them. Really, it's a pretty simple process to complete, though I will say it's probably going to be helpful to have another set of hands at the ready, since despite its lightweight, this is large and it's a bit cumbersome to get into place, align it, and bolt it down. But fret not, we're going to walk you through that install process right now, so with that, let's head on out to the shop.
Tools required for this install include a drill, a ratchet, clip remover tool, a file, safety glasses, scissors or diagonal cutters, a marker, drill bits that work your way up to a 1/2 inch, zip tie clips, zip ties, and a 13mm socket.
What's up guys? Today we're installing a hood on our Challenger, so let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is remove this pad from our hood. Now you've got 9 push clips. We've got 4 on that side, 1 in the middle, and 4 on this side. Now all of ours have either broken or gone missing, so we don't have any in ours. But it sits just like that. Take a clip remover tool and just get underneath the head of the clip, pop it out, do that for all of them, and this piece will just come right off. So now with that piece removed, we can disconnect our washer line. Now right over here, you're gonna spread this black clip and then just pull straight back on both of those. And then we'll grab a clip remover tool to pop out the 3 clips holding it to the hood. And just grab your clip tool, get right under that clip, pop it out. Do the same thing for the other ones. And we can just lay that down for now. So now we're ready to unbolt our hood from our brackets here. I've got a 13mm socket. I'm gonna pull out my 2 bolts and then pass the ratchet over to my buddy who's gonna get his side. I would strongly advise you to get a friend for this so that you can each lift from one side because it is pretty heavy. Now, it's not recommended to run these hood struts with a carbon fiber hood. However, I'm gonna leave them on for now since they're holding up our brackets. It'll be a little bit easier to get this bolted up, and then we'll pop them off after we have our hood bolted onto here. These things are pretty strong here. It takes a lot of pressure to force them down, so once your hood's closed, you're gonna have all that pressure on your hood and it can very easily crack. So now with our factory hood removed, we're gonna have to pull out our 2 sprayer nozzles as well as our hood latch. For the nozzles, we're gonna go from the back of the hood, get a small flathead screwdriver and go underneath the plastic. Let's push the tab in. And then this will lift out. Slide that out and do the same thing on the other side. Now take a 13mm socket and remove the 2 bolts holding in our hood latch. So now we've got our new hood here, and we're going to start off by installing our hood latch. Thread in your factory bolts. And then take a 13mm socket and tighten them down. So now we're going to have to drill some holes for our sprayer nozzle. I went ahead and made a little template here with a marker. Got my center hole. I'm going to start with a small drill bit. I'm going to work my way up to a 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to take my file just to get all the way to the edges. There's just going to be a lot of filing down and then testing. So I've got my sprayer nozzle. I'm just going to pull this line off of it. So just give it a twist and a pull. And then you can use this to line it up. We've got this bend here that's going to follow this bend. Now you want to be careful with the drill here because you don't want to go through the other side, so just go nice and slow with light pressure. And then once you got your pilot hole drilled, just keep working your way up until you get to that 1/2 inch drill bit. And then every so often, I'm just gonna grab a blowgun just to get this out of here. Now, once you got that hole drilled, grab your file and just start working down towards the edges of the template. Every so often, you wanna check that just to make sure it's lining up well. The most important thing is to follow this curve right on here. So a lot of test fitting and filing to make this work. Now we need to drill a hole here in the other side for our washer line to pass through. We're gonna go 1/2 inch on that as well. Same thing, we're gonna start small and then work our way up. Then I'm just gonna go in here with my file, clean up my edges. And now I'll just reconnect that washer line. Put that in through the outside hole. Slide it through that hole, and then we'll clip our washer nozzle into place. So now get these hooks under this lip first, and then press that down into place, and you get to repeat that whole fun process on the other side. So now I've got my buddy here ready to get this hood onto our latches. We're gonna thread in our factory bolts and then tighten them up with a 13mm socket. So now we can pop off these hood struts so that we can close our hood, make sure it's all lined up, and then we can loosen up these bolts and make any adjustments we need. So just get a flathead screwdriver under it, pry up on that center section, pop it off. It's probably important to note I've got my buddy holding the hood so it doesn't fall down. So pop that off, do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll just close this up, make sure our hood latch is aligned, and finish this install. Next, we can hook up our washer lines. So just get these together, give it a push to click it into place, and we'll just do that same thing on the other side. So now the last thing we need to do is tidy up our washer line. Now you can do this any way you'd like. We still have one clip back here that's gonna go into the hinge, so we have a factory location for that. So I'm gonna plug that in. And then to secure this to the hood, I'm gonna be using these zip tie clips. Now this is just so that I don't have to drill more holes. You could always drill a hole for the push clip that's on here and then just pop it in. So do whichever one you like. These clips, you just peel back the double-sided tape. And probably go right here with it. Stick that down, and then you can grab a zip tie and run that zip tie through the clip and use that to secure your line to the hood. And then you can just take your scissors or diagonal cutters, cut off the excess of that zip tie, and I'm going to put one more in the center of the hood. And put another one right there. We'll run my zip tie through the hole. Now don't go crazy tight on the zip tie. You still want it to be able to move. Don't pinch the line. Cut off that excess. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the Hellcat Style Hood with vent scoop and carbon fiber for your 2008 to 23 Challenger. Thank you for watching, and for all things Challenger, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.